Here.
No? Okay, yeah.
Did you not hear me?
I can't hear.
Where's your
John, we don't have anything that we're broadcasting right now, so everything is quiet. Sorry.
Hello? Hello?
Hello? Can I help you?
Yeah, sorry. Is this the right meeting?
Who are you?
This is Roshan McClendon from Gaston County.
McClendon?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to mute you now. Is that okay?
Sure.
You're supposed to be at the 5th District?
Yes.
All righty, thank you.
Hello. This is Pam Morgenstern from Gaston County. Hello.
Welcome, everybody.
Thank you, Pam Morgenstern. We have you.
Thank you.
Debbie Arnold from Watauga County.
Hello, Debbie.
Hello.
Yes, you did. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being patient. We're trying to make this as easy as possible for all of us that are here in the headquarters here in Watauga that have been trying to admit everybody, trying to get all the delegates, because we need to make sure that everyone's a delegate for voting purposes later. So thank you for being patient, and as we try to get rolling. Yeah. There's instructions here on how to turn on closed captioning if you need it. You see the live cat there in the corner. Okay, next.
Turn your volume way down.
Okay, and next, you see how you can the raise hand feature. That is how you're going to raise your hand if you want to make a motion or to ask any questions, because everyone's going to remain muted for the whole meeting. So that should be in the bottom corner. If you're on your phone, you can press 9 on your phone's keypad, *9 on your phone's keypad if you want to ask a question or to be recognized. We're also live streaming this event. We had a little technical issue, so it's not on the North Carolina 5th DIMS, but if you go there, it has been shared to my personal page because that's where it's streaming right now. So if you're not a delegate, you can watch it live stream. on Facebook?
We have a hand raised from Chip Wilson.
Chip Wilson has his hand raised and the chair will recognize him.
He's unmuted. I can't unmute.
What's his name?
Chip Wilson.
Oh, there it is. All right, Chip, you should be able to unmute.
No, he's still showing up as muted.
That's going to unmute.
Sorry, I did not intend to raise my hand. My apologies.
Can you lower your?
Yes, I can. I'll lower it. There we go. All right, there we go. All right. Next, welcome to the 5th District Convention today. I'm Charlie Wallen, the chair. It's great to have everyone here. I have said this morning numerous times that I just wished we could be in person because as much as I complained over the years about in-person meetings, it's so much better and so much easier. I've told my wife to remind me of this if I ever complain again about meeting in person after doing all these Zooms. So I appreciate everybody being patient as we try to get this done and done the right way. First off, to start the meeting, we're going to have a moment of silence. I want us to take time to remember we've lost a lot of good Democrats in this past year for many, many reasons. And we've asked and we've had, I want to take a moment for us to reflect and remember those folks and just ponder all we've had happen on many fronts over this last year, from the election to what happened on January 6th. There's been a lot of good and a lot of bad. So if we can just take a moment just to reflect and just to remember all that is going on. Thank you all. For the Pledge of Allegiance, I'm going to ask our chair from Burke County, Pam, who is a veteran, if she would lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pam. Next, we are going to do the Pledge of North Carolina. Cliff Moon, you're my Pledge of North Carolina.
Put forth your right hand.
Here for you this time.
Yeah, good. That's nice. All together. I salute the flag of North Carolina and pledge to the Old North State love, loyalty, and faith.
Thank you, Cliff.
Oh.
Okay. Next, we got a message from our state party chair.
Hello, North. For those who don't know, Your efforts today are critical to the party as we gear up for another election cycle. From your neighborhood team to your precinct to your county to your district, we are all working toward the goals of building grassroots organized power that will fuel Democratic wins.
You can help me keep an eye on the chat too.
Our power is in our people. People like you who are stepping up to be change in our people. And the place we start is right. Together we will get to work in all 13 districts, all 100 counties, and every zip code across North Carolina to push our message out and get as many Democrats elected up and down the ballot. But we've got to work harder than ever and organize, and organize.
Has anybody seen
On behalf of
Cherry
the North
Beasley's
Carolina
in?
Democratic Party, for all that you have done, for
have
all
not.
that you are doing, and for all that you will do.
Cherry Beasley had registered because she wanted to speak.
You can talk right now.
Okay, next, we have confirmed with our secretary, Pat, and we do have 50+1 of the organized counties represented. So we do have quorum. Next, we have our agenda. That is posted. And I will entertain a motion if someone can raise their hand. I'll recognize them as making the motion to approve the agenda.
Shelley Wallen has raised her hand.
Shelley,
I move to approve the agenda. Shelley
thank
Wallen,
you.
Watauga County.
Cliff Moon and Joyce Gladstone have also raised hands.
All right, Joyce Gladstone.
I present a second.
Okay.
Tell them to put their hands down.
Yes, can you please lower your hands? All those in favor, raise your hands. I know we've had some people say they still couldn't find it. If you look in the drop down on the right, or it could be down in the bottom of your screen, you should be able to, there should be 3 dots that say more on, that's what it says on my screen and does on most. And then there's some, it says reactions depending on the device you're on. So all those in favor, raise your hand. And a thumbs up works just as well. I'll take either one.
Okay, are we ready to lower hands?
Okay. We're gonna lower all the hands. Give me a second to lower all the hands. All right. All right. All those, any opposed to the agenda? Okay. Hearing none, the agenda is approved.
Debbie Arnold might have been against it. Looks like Debbie Arnold might have been against it.
She might have just voted.
Yeah, okay, go. I think you skipped a slide. Can you go back?
Oh. Votes of the day.
Next, we have the rules of the day.
He raised a hand.
Do what?
Cliff raised his hand.
Yeah,
Dorian-
Cliff.
Move approval.
Okay.
Dorian raised her hand.
Dorian.
Yes, what are the limitations to speaking in debate? Just so I can have that knowledge.
We're doing 3 minutes for debate. For nominations, debate, any speeches, we're doing 3 minutes.
Thank you.
Sorry. Do I have a second?
I second Dorian Palmer.
Question? Cliff, did you have a question?
No, I just lowered my hand because I had made the motion. Thank you.
Okay, Betsy has seconded the rules of the day. We're going to raise our hands again. All those in favor, please raise your hand.
It was Cliff and Betsy. So we have to move it.
While everybody's raising their hands for the question, we've got a team here today and here in Watauga. All of us are vaccinated. We're all scattered through the office here. One, thank you, Watauga County, for letting us use your headquarters. And two, to Betsy Wells, the first vice chair, Mandy Markson, the third vice chair. We got Pam, the chair of Burke, and we've got Pat, our newest secretary, all here in Watauga helping out. And I got Ben Martin from his all the way down the mountain, who's helped with the live stream and trying to put all that together. So I appreciate all those folks. All right, I'm going to lower everybody's hands. Any opposed? By like sign. Okay. The ayes have it.
I just can't.
All right, a motion will be made to do voting by voice vote only since if all officers are running unopposed. However, if there's a candidate nominated to the floor, we'll need to vote by special Google form. Each vote, and I stress this, will be open for 15 minutes. And then it's going to take another 15 minutes to tabulate them. So please be aware, if we have any voting, we're looking at least a minimum of 30 minutes to get all the votes counted. So just be prepared and be aware of that. We do have some slides that we have queued up to run during these times. So please, please bear with us and have patience, because it can take a while if we have a lot of voting. So. All right, when the ballot is prepared, the link for the Google form will be uploaded to the chat area of the Zoom. You can, if there's multiple, I know there's some counties who joined together and are socially distanced in their headquarters. You can open the chat, one of you vote, you can close that form, reopen it, and the next person in the room can vote. So you can have multiple people voting from one computer.
And sharing a similar email.
So only delegates for each county should vote. You got the special Zoom meeting invite from me, and you should, when you vote, you have to put in the name as it appears in Vote Builder.
Yeah, we'll go over all this again.
Yes, and we're going to go over this all again too. So, but it needs to be your name as it is in Vote Builder. or it'll take even longer to tabulate the votes, because the way the spreadsheet is tailored so that it can be, so that the weighted vote can be taken into account, it pulls it from Vote Builder, and that's how it links the name. If not, then we're going to have to go through the folks here in this room and search to double check that you're supposed to be a delegate. So please remember all that. We've already approved the minutes. Oh, sorry.
No.
The 5th District Convention, the May 16th minute meetings, I am trying to find a, I have not been able to locate those minutes that were done by one of our previous secretaries. So we will be able to take those up at the next convention when we find them. I do want to take a moment because we have had a special guest join us, and so I'm going to take a point of personal privilege as the chair. I have promised her. She is the one candidate who reached out and wanted to speak today. So I am going to recognize our illustrious former Chief Justice, and I say that sadly because she only lost by a few votes. You know, she is the poster lady of the person who, you know, every vote counts, and one more vote, even in a dead red county, could have pushed her over the top. So I will recognize Cherry Beasley, who has announced to run as a potential candidate for senator in North Carolina. I'm going to recognize her to speak for a few minutes since she joined us.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Democrats. I am so glad to see everybody this morning. I am Cherry Beasley, your former Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of North Carolina and candidate for the United States Senate. I'm so grateful for all the ways that you have been supportive over the years. You know who I am, but I will tell you just a little bit about me and be respectful of the time and tell you why I'm running for the United States Senate. I was raised by a mom who taught me that no door of opportunity should ever be closed to me. And it's so important to work hard, to live by faith. And she told me that I could accomplish anything. She was accomplished in her own right and dedicated her life to public service.
We got chips. And pick up a packet of the Thai salad. And we're going to have to go and get more stuff.
Okay. And so she was just an amazing woman. I miss her to this day, but she modeled for me so well. And that's why I've committed more than 20 years of my life to public service. I went to college and law school and served as an assistant public defender in Fayetteville, then became a district court judge. Now I'll tell you my first election for district court judge after I got married to Kurt, and we had twin sons, Matthew and Thomas, who are now 20, by the way. I ran for district court, and my opponent told me at the time that I wasn't going to win because I was a mom. Well, that's kind of all Mama Bear needs to hear, right? I won that election by 30 points. I went on to win 2 statewide elections because of your help and support. 2008, I was elected to the Court of Appeals. And in 2014, I was elected to the Supreme Court of North Carolina. I'm especially proud of the 2014 election because that was a tough year for Democrats in North Carolina and across the nation. You all know that I made history in 2018 as becoming the first African-American woman to serve as Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. And my priorities remain the same: to work hard and to make sure that the people who were coming before our courts were treated fairly. But there are too many families across North Carolina who don't have good opportunities and where the doors of opportunities have been closed for them. And whether it's healthcare or education or having good jobs to take care of our families or being able to retire for dignity, too often Washington only responds to the well-connected. And I'm running for the United States Senate because it's time for that to change. I'm aware that there are only 24 women currently serving the United States Senate and 0 African-American women. And I know it's important for my voice to be heard in the United States Senate, but that's not the only reason I'm running. I'm running to fight for the people of North Carolina, to be a voice for those who've been ignored and left behind for far too long. We can make history together in North Carolina. My campaign is off to an amazing start. After only 3 weeks, we have over 80 elected officials who are supporting my campaign and clergy from all over the state. We've had encouragement from so many folks in this district, and so grateful, because we know that in order to win the seat, it takes working differently and it takes a different kind of candidate. So I thank you so much for all that you do for the people of North Carolina. I look forward to working with you all as we move forward through this election season. And I hope you will check out my website, sherrybeasley.com. Thank you so much for all you do, and have a great convention.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you joining us this morning.
Thank you.
So good to see you.
Good to see you.
Okay. Next, I actually
Do you need me?
well, no, I'm gonna actually, I did find the minutes from last year's meeting. And I'm going to put them onto the screen. Okay.
You see screen sharing.
Mhm. It's,
There we go.
there we go. Good. I'm scrolling through so that people can have a chance to look over them.
Charlie, my name is spelled with an L there.
I'm sorry. I didn't hear this thing.
His name was spelled with an L.
Okay,
Right on the
it
screen.
is.
And it shouldn't be. I spent my life explaining this to people.
There you go. Sorry about that. Did it take it?
Yeah, you got an X out of
No, it didn't.
it. Yeah. it
You
did.
have to hit the checkbox, not the X.
That's what I did. I thought I hit the check box.
Mm.
Let me hit the check box. I know why, because I'm not the one that owns this.
I just recommend that you take note of it, and
We will.
that's all. Move on.
Our secretary will make a note to make sure we get that cleaned off. So, let me check. Thank you, Mr. Parliamentarian. I appreciate Cliff Moon, as always, serving as my parliamentarian, as he has for many, 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 many years. And I don't know what I would do without him.
I'm old, but I'm not that old. Come on.
So This is one of the things that I do not like about having to do Zoom meetings, not getting the delegate list until literally the 12th hour. You can't mail all this out. There was 463 delegates to this convention. There was only email addresses for roughly 220. So it has been very hard to try to communicate some of this stuff out as easily as it could have been. So. Did anyone have any other changes other than Paul's? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to Loretta Clausen, you recognized?
Motion to approve the minutes as submitted.
Loretta Clausen, Watauga County, do we have a second?
Your choices.
I can't see them.
We have Lynn Dorfman.
Lynn Dorfman, you're recognized.
I moved to second. Sorry, it took me a while to find it, Charlie.
Thank you. You're fine. Yes, please lower all hands. All right. All those in favor? Raise your hand or thumbs up. As I said, it works as well. And I will say that I did steal this idea from Catawba County and Chair Lynn Dorfman for having this command central set up. It's not running as efficiently as their command central, I don't think, or maybe it is, but I do appreciate the idea of being able to pop in and see what she did and have all of us here in a room together. So. Okay, I'm going to lower all the hands. Any opposed?
Chris Aaron. Brandon Whitaker, Gwendolyn.
We're voting against, you're voting against the minutes now if you're raising your hand. All right, the ayes have it, or the hand raises have it, I should say. So. Now.
Several hands still raised. Sharing
Okay,
my
I'm
screen.
gonna, yes, please. Okay. All right, next, David Griffith from Burke County can give us our financial report.
Okay, we started the year with $3,926.97. We have spent $357.75, and we now have a balance of $3,569.22. Most of the money we spent was to set up these Zoom meetings. So, any questions?
And I will interject that I did do as asked. And so last night I went in and upped it for today so that we could have as many as 500 participants on this call. So I will take that. I will deactivate that after we get through with the meeting. So hopefully that'll be a prorated amount once we get through it. So But I
Charles-
did up it for one day.
And Charlie, I did find that this morning and include that in this accounting.
And I thought you had, considering the balance was a little different. Thank you so much. That's why I sent it to you. So.
Okay, thanks.
Mhm. Any other questions about the financial report and his contacts down in the bottom? Please feel free to send him all your money. There is a link to where you can donate online as well. So we appreciate any support. Once we start meeting in person, we can use some of this money. As we said, some of this came in really late from a state party and not enough time to use it before the last election. So we do have some money in the bank, but any and all donations are appreciated.
You have to approve this report.
So, all right. Next, we have the Minority Affairs Report from Gail Jones. Gail.
You didn't unmute me and I was talking.
Sorry.
That's okay. Good morning. 2016, 65% of minority turnout, Hispanic / Latina and Asians, Black and African American and Native American and Alaska Native by the Board of Election. 2020, 71% of minority turned out. The goals and plan is we can use the 2020 census data to break down the minority resident by county. Compare that to the minority registered voters and create a target minority voter registration strategy. Follow through with get out the vote efforts in minority populations to increase overall district minority turnout to 75% in 2024. County data and strategy plan to follow. I'm going to break down the minority descendant and using the 2020 census as follow. And if any county has any questions or would like me to explain further, I will be glad to. Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions for Gail? Okay. Thank you so much, Gail, and thank you for all your work. I know you've worked hard trying to put together something for us, and we really, really appreciate it as our Minority Affairs Chair.
Thanks.
Chris Bernhardt.
Chris Barron from Watauga, you have your hand raised.
Yes, I do. I was just wondering, I'm really impressed with this this work that's being done on minorities, but I'm wondering why you're focusing on 2024, not 2022, for getting the additional percentage of people voting.
She's muted. She's talking, but she's muted.
I'm trying to scroll through to. Okay, you should be able to unmute, Gail.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Because that is when it is the largest voting turnout. That is during the election of our president and our main officers, candidates, I should say. And that's why I chose 2020, because it is, and that is when we really need a lot of votes. But you could use this anytime there's an election. And because the minority group is the group that we really need to work on. Did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Jack Kaiser.
Jack Kaiser?
Yeah, just to follow up to the last question, one thing I would suggest is look at the minority turnout in 2018 and see if a goal can be made to up that for 2022. We surely expect that all voters, there's just less turnout overall, of course, in non-presidential years. But if we can take as a benchmark the last non-presidential year, which was 2018, and see if that number could be upped in 2022. Just a suggestion.
Right. Well, I did do the 2016 turnout. I did look at it.
Yeah, but 2016 was a presidential year.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
The non-presidential years are going to be less, so you have to compare apples with apples. And
right.
And so if you can look at 2018 and take that percent number and see if we can use that as a benchmark to up it in 2022,
right.
So that we can help elect a Democratic senator from North Carolina and bring Representative Fox back to Banner Elk.
Wait a minute, whoa. We don't want her in Banner Elk. We want her in one of her other 5 homes.
Well,
preferably the one in Florida, Winston. Yeah. But
so
sorry, I had to interject
and that's fine, so long as it's not in the U.S. House of Representatives.
Amen.
Gerald Hutchins. That's a good question.
Gerald, Gail, did you want to respond to that right quick?
Yes, I will work on it and see what I can come up with. But like I said, with these figured numbers that I gave, I think we should start right now working on the minority group. Really, to be.
Absolutely, thank you.
Gerald Hutchinson?
Yeah, my comment was really very consistent with what Jack had to say, that the comparison between presidential election and the other elections really ought to be more comparable. And Gail, if you're able to get into the 2018 and work up some numbers that would give us a better handle. I don't know if the minority turnout drops off more or less in the presidential elections, but congratulations on your good work. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for your comments. And I will continue to work on it if Charlie wants me to.
Her email is down below.
And her email is down below. If anybody has any questions, any comments, anything they want to share. Cliff?
I will be brief, but I just want to reiterate what Jack Kaiser pointed out, but for a similar reason. And it's not just on Gail, it's on all of us to get bigger turnout. We have got to get turnout in all categories. Of course, our minority turnout, but I remember quite well, and I hope some of you do, 2010, after winning a presidential election in 2008, everybody where we campaigned would say, well, didn't we just elect President Obama? And you have to explain that if we lose the House, or if we lose both the House and the Senate, President Biden will be stymied in almost everything he tries to do from that point on. And that's really, really crucial. 2022 is a critical election for turning this country in the right direction. Thank you.
Jack Kaiser.
Jack? Yes.
Did you still had your hand raised? Did you have anything else you wanted to
I'm
add?
sorry, but I will make one more remark. I was going to, it goes without saying that every election is won on turnout. But if you have a lower turnout election and you have a special effort on turnout, one party or the other, then the effort of the turnout actually has greater leverage because the overall voting numbers are lower. That was the point I was going to make.
Mary, agree?
Mary, degree?
I'd like to just put an observation as being one of the ones that are minorities that we would consider. I don't know if we would do it through this or would we do it through our state board, in that we changed that name from Minority Affairs Report to Game Changers or People for Change or something report. Because when I think of minorities, I think of people less fortunate, and I don't see myself being less fortunate. So I just want to just throw that out for something to be considered for the future. Instead of calling us minority, give us give another name, Game Changers or something. Just an observation to be considered.
Thank you.
But yeah, I think, Charlie, that Mary, that the reason why that was called Minority Outreach Affairs, rather, was because this is the group that we are having problems with getting out to vote.
Okay, well, that could probably change if people would not feel like they are a minority less than anyone else. We're working in a new norm now that we all are the same, regardless of our culture or whatever. So this is just an observation to be thought of, nothing to call
Right.
a discussion or anything at this time, but just something to be thought about. Because we're all in this together.
Right.
And maybe in the name minorities, like in my area, that's one of the names that people have a problem with as concerning. So just something for the chairman and for the committees and everybody, delegates to consider. Thank you.
Thank you for your
Right.
comment.
Okay, nothing else.
Anything else? We have no other hands, so we're going to move on. Thank you so much, Gail, and thank you for answering all these questions and for all your work again. And remember, her stuff was in the bottom. Next up, Mandy Markson is going to give us our social media and report.
Okay, we're going to try to not have feedback because we're all crammed in this room together. I hope everyone can hear me okay. Wow, that is weird and very trippy. I'm hearing all directions. Our website, which was in the Treasury report, is held on Wix. It's an easy platform to use. It's easy to plug and play some things. So I use Google Analytics to look at how many visitors we've had for the year. I just went for the year, 246 unique US visitors. I took out all the foreign addresses, and 611 page views. Of those, the locations in North Carolina that gave us the most traffic are those along the right-hand side of the screen there: Charlotte, Shelby, Hickory, Raleigh, Boone, Gastonia, Morganton, Winston-Salem, Lenoir, and Hendersonville. We do have a Twitter account at North Carolina 5th Dems. We have 707 followers, 29 tweets during that time period, which isn't huge, but we hope to improve that moving forward, and 329 profile views. Profile views is one of those metrics that I really like on Twitter, just because it shows that people were interested enough in what we were saying to go to our profile page and see where we are. Are we somebody that they want to get involved with? Are we near them? Are they our district? That sort of thing. They want to know the link to our website, that sort of thing. So that's what I like on Twitter to look at. And Facebook, we're also at North Carolina 5th Dems. And hello to all those that are joining us through the Facebook feed today. That's something new for us, and we're glad to have you. We have 1,360 followers on Facebook. We had 13 posts, so we haven't been terribly prolific, but we have been sharing things. And 106 engagements. So people are liking, people are sharing, and that's what you really hope for. moving forward, I hope to have more of a schedule, and I hope to coincide a little tighter with, the North Carolina Democratic Party information, and scheduling things so that it's not always knee-jerk reactions. During the last 4 years of that presidential administration, it felt like we were putting out fires constantly, and you couldn't work ahead ever on social media because you were always having to undo things that were being done on a whim. So that's something I hope to improve in the coming months. If you need to reach me, my email is down at the bottom. For county chairs, please let me know if on the calendar on the website, if your meeting is the wrong time, wrong day of the week. I know there's been a lot of changes and I'm not always aware of those. So reach out to me directly and let me know when your new meeting times are. If we have something on the website wrong, if your leadership has changed, I'm your gal. So get that information to me and we'll work through it together. Any other kind of things that you want to share, your fish fries or your fundraisers, things like that, get them to me with as much notice as you possibly can. I realize I try not to miss anything, but definitely share the graphics with me. I'm always wanting to share. So if there's any questions, holler at me and I'll give it back to Charlie.
Okay, I had to get my sound back and my mute. I lowered it so that we wouldn't have the interference. So, and Connie, I definitely agree, Cox. She is awesome. And I don't know what I would have done without Mandy all these years. She's been so good. And she allows me, as I've said many times, to allow me to muddle and screw up everything she does on the 5th District Facebook page and Twitter. So, next.
I need to be doing
Elections. So next screen. First up, we're going to go over the voting again. I'm going to remind everybody.
Only if they nominate other people.
Yeah. Only reason we would need this is if there's more than one person running. Just want to remember that voting will be open for exactly 15 minutes. And then there's 15 minutes to count it. You must use your name as it appears in Vote Builder. So again, please be patient if we have any challenged elections. And please just remember that it's going to take at least 30 minutes. You will get an email to verify your vote. And if you have any trouble accessing the Google form, that's my cell phone. And we can take your vote over phone. Please do not put it in the chat. If you're having trouble in the online, we can put you into a breakout room and we can take your vote there if we need to. And we do have a hand raise. Who is?
Elizabeth Haggy.
Elizabeth?
How do we know how our name appears in Vote Builder?
It should be your formal name that is on your voter registration.
Okay, thank you.
And it's Elizabeth in Vote Builder. They just confirmed because we do have a delegate sheet. So if somebody has if you private message one of us, either myself, Mandy,
Dorian Palmer raised a hand.
Pam, Pat, or Betsy, we can look on the spreadsheet and figure out what your name is as well. Dorian?
You just answered my question, Charlie. I apologize. Thank you.
You're perfectly fine.
Susan Maxon.
Susan? Maxon?
Yes, hello. We have a couple of people that have called in. Will you make provisions to take their votes?
You don't have to call in at
Yes.
that number.
Yeah, call this. They can call the number and
You have to say the number.
828-773-1382, and we can do that.
All right, thanks.
links when they couldn't get in. So that's she's for Gaston County too. It's me and the other lady. See that it's in their emails right now. Evelyn Burris and Big Crock. Gaston County.
Okay. We have, so they're,
They had sent, did not get the link. So they sent the links to them, to their emails.
okay.
I joined, and that may be who Susan's talking.
Okay, there is, Susan, there, we do have two people who we have sent, their confirmation link should be to them now, if they're two of the ones that are maybe didn't have one. As well.
Ben says that
Thank
he
you.
can also do a breakout room.
Yeah, he can. Any other questions? We have any other hand raised?
No. Moving on.
Okay. If we do not have anything, we will again use the raised hands. If I do ask that if we only have one person nominated, when the person makes the motion to close nominations, to please close nominations and move to accept by acclamation, and it will make things go a lot easier if people are running unopposed. The only eligible voters, remember folks, are the district convention delegates elected and reported by the chair of your county. Any other questions before we move into elections? Hearing or seeing no one saying there's any hands raised. I will step down right now, and I am going to recognize Betsy Wells, the first vice chair, to conduct our election for chair.
Good morning. Good morning, fellow Democrats. It's wonderful to see all your faces on our screens and hear your voices on the telephone. And maybe next year we'll all be together where we can see each other in person. District 5 stretches all the way from Virginia to down to South Carolina. It certainly has been one of the newer districts over the last year. I came on board as your first vice chair after Cleveland County got to go into District 5 from District 10, and I have appreciated your support and help during this time. Being the chair is a very hard but rewarding position. And at this time, you know, we've not only did the chair, Charlie, have to deal with the pandemic, but he had to deal with, you know, with being a presidential election. So at this time, I will open up the floor and I will call on Susan Miles from Allegheny County. Susan, all right, please unmute yourself and you are recognized.
Hi, I'm thrilled to be here this morning, and I would be honored to nominate Charlie Wallen to continue to serve as our 5th district chair. Did you hear it?
Okay, I didn't hear her. Okay, Susan, thank you for. All right, you don't have to. No. All right, Susan, thank you so much for putting on the floor a re-election and renomination for our chair from Watauga County, Charlie Wallen, to continue as our District 5 chair. Are there any other nominations? If so, please raise your hands. Sam. All right, Tom Smith's hand is raised. Tom?
No, I'm sorry. We pushed the wrong button.
We jumped in too
Hear your
quickly.
voice. Thank you, Tom. Who? All right, Doreen Palmer, your hand is raised.
I make the motion, we close nominations
All right,
and
Doreen
accept
Palmer.
by acclamation.
Dorian Palmer has made the motion to close nominations and accept Charlie Wallen as our next District 5 Chair by acclamation. Is there a second?
I second.
Loretta Clausen, you're recognized.
I would second the nomination of Charlie. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Loretta. Loretta Clausen from Watauga has seconded the motion. All right, are we ready to vote? Well, 3 other hands are still raised. Let's see what others want. All right, which one's next? Tom Smith, Tom?
I'm sorry, we're just jumping the gun again.
Okay, all right, thank you, Tom. Debbie Kirkley? Debbie?
Yes.
Your
Yes.
hand is raised.
I thought we were voting.
Oh, okay. That's next. Thank you, Debbie. All right.
Madam
Anybody
Chairwoman,
else?
Madam Chairwoman, this is Cliff Moon, your
Hello,
parliamentarian.
Cliff.
Hi, dear. Let's just make sure everybody, it'll make things go so much better. Wait for the chair to ask for a vote. Wait for the chair to ask for a motion. And secondly, if we have, when we get to resolutions, this might happen, so I'll say it now, when we get to something where there may be debate back and forth, you need to be recognized by the chair in order to speak. Thank you. That's in our rules. So thank you.
All right. Thank you, Cliff. All right. Now we've got the motion is on the floor. It's been properly seconded. And now we go to voting. So now please raise your hand or thumbs up. I'll call for these. All right, if you would please lower your hands. Is there anyone now that wants to raise your hand to vote against the motion? We're voting against the motion that close nominations and elect Charlie by acclamation. You need to raise your hand or your thumb if you're voting against that motion. Are you voting against it? See, I asked them to raise their hand. Yeah. Wait a minute. Do I need to send him a chat? Ray Rayner. Elmer Ray, it's Ray. Ray, your hand is raised. Are you voting against the motion? Or is it just still up for voting for the motion? It went down, Ray, and now it's back up. Unmute yourself, please.
I'm sorry, Betsy. I have lowered my hand. Do you see that now?
All right. Thank you, Ray. All right. So you lowered your hand. So all the votes then are in acclamation, or we supported the nomination. I mean, the motion to close the nominations and to elect Charlie Wallen by acclamation and we are unanimously in that vote. So at this time, let's give Charlie Wallen a big hand. He has been elected as our continuing as our chair of District 5 Democratic Party. It's over to you, Charlie.
Okay,
Charlie,
now I can back here and again. So I had
Charlie,
to keep having to cut my audio off, so I couldn't hear anything that was going on. So Ralph, did you have a question?
yes.
Yes, Ralph.
Yeah, I'm under the impression that if we vote by acclamation, if it's unopposed, without objection, that we don't even actually have to vote without objection.
Yes, I mean, we could have done it that way. We could have just, if there was any objections, and then if somebody raised their hand, then we would have had to vote. And one of the reasons we had to clarify, some people have asked about if there was a no vote or not, we would have had to proceed to a vote, because it would not have been by acclamation if somebody had voted against the acclamation vote. Mr. Parliamentarian, correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, you're not.
Okay, thank you. You've taught me something over all these years, I guess.
Neither is Ralph, by the way, Charlie, but it probably is wiser to Ralph to actually have a vote registered for an election, no matter what. I mean, that's just, I mean, you're technically right. If we wanted to say it was by acclamation, there were no votes against and without objection, I mean, to the motion, we could go forward, but I just wouldn't recommend it on an election, but so that's just me. So
I tend to agree too, Cliff. I know that a lot of counties did that to expedite the vote, but I like having a vote so that we can, so it's in records. So I totally agree as well. So thank you all so much. I appreciate all y'all's support. I mean, it has been a challenging year and a difficult year, and I'm just looking for some sense of normalcy and us being able to get back to doing some of the things we used to do, and moving forward now as a district. Next, we're going to go to the election of first vice chair, and I am going to call on the Cleveland County Chair, Mr. Kent Blevins.
Hello, my name is Kent Blevins, Chair of the Cleveland County Democratic Party, and I am pleased to nominate Betsy Wells to serve another term as first vice chair of 5th District Democrats. And if I could just take a minute to explain why we in Cleveland County are so proud of Betsy. She knows the communities of our district literally from top to bottom. She was born and grew up in Ashe County at the northern end of our district and taught schools in Cleveland County for 33 years at the southern end of the 5th District. She has a long history of work on behalf of Democrats in Western North Carolina. It's impossible to cover all of her accomplishments, but here are some highlights. More than 25 years as an officer at the precinct level. She is currently chair of the Grover Precinct in Cleveland County. More than 10 years as an officer for Cleveland County Democrats, member and officer of Cleveland County Democratic Women, 8 years as chair of District 10 Democrats, more than 20 years of service on the North Carolina State Executive Committee, more than 30 years working on behalf of county, district, state, and national Democratic candidates, including putting up signs in the Grover precinct, slogging through the New Hampshire snow, traveling to Nevada and South Carolina, working phone banks, writing letters, and organizing volunteers, service on a variety of local, state, and national committees, multiple times a national convention delegate. Betsy Wells goes above and beyond the call of duty to get the word out about who we are as Democrats and what we stand for. She is a regular on our local community college TV station talk show called Smackdown, where she clearly articulates a vision that Democrats have for making our communities more fair and more prosperous for everyone. If you know Betsy, you know she is full of energy. She brings commitment and passion to whatever task she tackles. She firmly believes that political action can change things for the better, and that Democrats have a vision that can inspire people to get involved in the democratic process. So as chair of the Cleveland County Democratic Party, I am proud to nominate Betsy Wells to the position of first vice chair of 5th District Democrats.
Thank you so much, Kent. I appreciate that. Was very glowing, and I agree with everything you said. She has been a dedicated hard worker.
You made her blush. Dorian has a hand.
Dorian, you have your hand raised.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion, we close nominations and vote by acclamation.
Okay, I have a motion to close nominations and vote by acclamation. Do we have a second?
Second. I hate to
Who's
do this,
that second?
Mr. Chairman. I hate to do this because I don't like doing it.
Yes, sir.
But you never got to call for other nominations, and so that motion would be out of order, I believe.
Okay.
You get to decide that, so I'll leave it alone.
Thank you. Thank you, Cliff. I will ask, right? I want this to be fair, so I will ask, are there any other nominations from the floor? Hearing none, then I will accept Dorian's move to close nominations and vote by acclamation. Is there a second? Who's the second?
David Griffin second.
David Griffith is seconding. Okay. All those in favor, we're going to raise hands again. All those in favor, please raise your hands. Or thumbs up. That works as well. Or I like the clapping too. I'll even throw the party sign in there because we're going to throw a party for Betsy to be in the first vice. Oh, I like somebody's throwing in a heart now to vote for. Somebody's sending their love to you, Betsy. We're making Betsy blush over here, just so y'all know. All right. I'm going to lower all of the hands. All right. Let me get all the hands lowered. Okay.
You ready to move on?
Well, I gotta, okay. All the hands are now down. Any opposed?
Debbie Arnold.
Debbie, you raised your hand. Were you trying to vote for the motion?
No, I just lowered it as well, so.
Okay, it hadn't popped up on mine, so there it goes. All right.
Okay, thanks.
All right.
So now we pass.
Yep. All right. Seeing as there are none opposed, Betsy has won by acclamation, and I appreciate her so much. Y'all just don't understand. Having two people that are district chairs together are, you know, we both have the experience and knowledge, and we even have Cliff as well. So you're very fortunate that you've had three folks who have been former district chairs in this district to be able to work together and work together well with each other. And I just appreciate all their knowledge and all their years and what they do for me and how they're able to help me just to be a better person and a better leader as a chair. So Betsy, do you want to say anything right quick?
I just appreciate your confidence in, well, wait, I'm you.
I want to thank each of you for voting for me and placing confidence in me to continue to help Charlie, Mandy, and David and the other officers to move forward with District 5. And Charlie's right, to have 5, Cliff and I are former district chairs, and to have with Charlie, I hope you do feel like we helped you. But thank you all, and if you ever need me, I'll put my number in the chat box. Thank you.
I'm going to recognize the
Chair of Burke County. Pam?
Yes, my name is Pam, and I would like to nominate Paul Custer for the position of the second vice chair of the district. He's a former chair, so he knows exactly what we're going through. He's from a rural Red County as well, and he's an educator, and I just think he would do well in this position of second vice chair.
Dr. Paul Custer again for Caldwell County nominee.
Charlie, you're mostly muted.
So Dr. Paul Custer has been entered in as a nominee. Paul, do you accept the nomination?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I will open the floor for any other nominations.
Hearing none.
Yeah, I do not hear any. Do we have a motion to close? Dorian?
Mr. Chair, I make the motion, we close nominations this time and vote by acclamation, Dr. Paul Custer.
Do we have a second? And I think I see Gabriel Sherwood popped up as a second. So all those in favor, please raise your hand using the raised hand feature. And like we've already said, we'll accept anything positive as a reaction through there, as people have had a lot of fun with this.
Oh, wow. I think we're getting the hang of it.
Yeah. I love y'all getting the hang of this.
Anna Robinson says she.
Okay.
Just now she has audio, but Google, not Google link to vote. We don't have a Google link to vote right now. do we?
We're just raising hands because we've not had to do any ballot links. So anybody that's that's left and rejoined or anything, just so you know. Any other votes? Okay, I'm going to start lowering the hands. All right. All the hands are lowered now. So any opposed to the motion of Dr. Paul Custer being the second vice chair? Seeing none, congratulations, Dr. Paul Custer. He will be our new second vice chair. Paul, would you like to say anything?
No, I just like to work with the county party chairs to develop some training manuals and some gathering the wisdom of doing the business out here in red counties and create some sort of knowledge base for that. That's my idea.
And thank you for being willing to serve. So next we have the third vice chair.
Charlie?
And I'm going to call on Catherine. Charles?
Okay, I would be honored to nominate Mandy Markson for the third vice chair of the North Carolina 5th District. Mandy Markson is a lifelong Democrat who started her political career as a page for Governor Jim Hunt's last term. She was also an op-ed cartoonist at the Daily Tar Heel during her time at UNC Chapel Hill, and still draws the occasional political cartoon. Not only does she serve well as the third vice chair of the 5th Congressional District, she's also our second vice chair in the Wilkes County Democratic Party and her precinct chair in Wilkes County, where she works also full-time in marketing and resides with her family in North Wilkesboro. I can't recommend a better person than Mandy Markson to continue as third vice chair.
Okay, thank you, Catherine. I will open the floor up for any other nominations.
We have Gail Bess Rayner.
Gail? Yeah. Gail, you,
Go to Dorian Palmer.
Gail, you should be able to unmute now. Okay, Dorian then?
Just a point of order before I make my motion for the parliamentarian. Mr. Parliamentarian, it is my understanding that a person cannot serve as a district officer as well as a county party officer. Is that correct?
First of all, before I answer this question, thank you, Dorian, but the question is not to the parliamentarian, it is to the chair.
Okay.
And Mr. Chairman, do you need me to advise?
You are correct, Dorian, as you are very correct. As the chair, you cannot be in both positions.
10.04, by the way, Charlie.
Yes, thank you, Cliff. 10.04. Is there any other advice you would like to add, Mr. Parliamentarian?
Well, the way it works is that if we elect Mandy to the position of third vice chair or any other person that would hold a county office, 10.04 says that you are automatically vacate the office, the lower office that you hold, unless you choose to not run for that office. But once elected, you would be, normally you would take the higher office in that. That's enough. I could say something like, bless you, Catherine Charles, for what you do. And I know how hard it is to get officers, period.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, that's not my understanding. The way 10.04 reads is that. So,
Mr. Chair, if I may continue to be recognized.
Yes, sir.
I make a motion, we close nominations for the office of third vice chair and elect by acclamation.
Well, let me just double check there was a couple other hands. I didn't know that's where you were going. Colleen Balco. Colleen, you're recognized.
Oh,
She lowered your hand. Okay, Anna Robinson, your hand was raised as well.
My question.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, Diane.
no.
All right. Diane, did you have Diana, did you have a question? I'm sorry, I'm trying to read my small screen.
Nope. No, sorry.
Okay, all right. Hearing no other nominations, then I will now accept Dorian's motion to close nominations and accept by acclamation. Do I hear a second?
I second.
Betsy Wells has seconded from here in the room. Any further discussion? We'll move straight to a vote then. So everyone raise their hand. Okay, I'm going to lower the hands now. Okay, any opposed? Seeing no opposition, Mandy is elected as the third vice chair.
Can I say something?
Mandy, you're recognized.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for your vote of confidence. And I am actively working on trying to get someone else that could be trained to do this and would be into the constant relentlessness of it. If anyone in your county is interested in doing something like this, it is something I'm very hands-on about. I came into this role as an interim and I just keep getting re-upped. So it is not anything that I want to share this knowledge and I want to help someone else come up into this role. So if anyone in your county is interested, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you.
I have to turn, okay, there we go. I have to get my audio and everything back on when after Mandy had spoken. I agree, Catherine, when you're that good, this is what happens. Everybody wants your services to be able to use. So next up, talking about another interim, Patricia Irwin. I want to open the floor first. Patricia Irwin is currently the secretary and she's willing to serve, but we potentially can have a conflict. So we have agreed here that we're going to open the floor for any other nominations before we take Patricia into consideration. Is there anyone who wants to be secretary of this party? Hearing none, is there any there? If there's none out there, I want to entertain a motion as chair to table this position until our June 24th meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Dorian's raised their hand.
I make the motion to table until the June 22nd meeting at the advice of the chair.
Or June. Do I have a second? Pam from Burke has seconded. Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, I'm going to lower all the hands. Any opposed to the motion? Seeing none, the motion carries. We will table this until our June meeting. Next, we have the treasurer. I'm going to call on our chair from Burke again, Pam.
Yeah, it's Pam here, and I would like to nominate David Griffith. He came in after the redistricting this last time and took over as the treasurer for the district. He, in the past, has been treasurer for candidates, and he knows the job and does the job well.
Okay, thank you, Pam. I will open the floor now for any other nominations for treasurer.
David Griffith has raised his hand.
David? David, did you have any?
Charlie, I would just like to say that I'm proud to serve and will gladly serve as treasurer. But I'd like to say something to everyone is that not everybody can do, people can do these jobs. It is a matter of learning, whether it's the treasurer or the secretary or any other job that we have. And we need people to step forward. And that's basically all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, David. And thank you. I'm sorry. I should have asked if you accepted that nomination. You know, when you got a good treasurer, you don't want to let them go. So you don't let them have the option usually to just say they don't want to. So Dorian, you've raised your hand and you're recognized.
I make the motion to close nomination and vote by acclamation. David Griffith to the role of treasurer.
Thank you so much. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Betsy Wells is seconding from here in the room. We will now proceed to a vote with the raised hand and at all features. So if everyone will raise their hand. Okay, I'm going to lower all the hands. Anybody opposed? Seeing none. The motion carries. David is the treasurer. Thank you, David, for all your hard work and everything you do. I really, really appreciate it.
You're most welcome, and I'll try to do my best to continue serving.
And I'll try to do my best not to throw you any curveballs as best as I can. Okay.
That takes us to
Now, next, yay, we're to the resolutions. Do you have them? Don't you have them up there?
I have them like that.
Yeah, good. We have them there as a heading. Is there? I will entertain multiple motions. I will entertain a motion to move all the resolutions. And vote by acclamation. I will entertain a motion if there's some resolution that wants to be pulled and further discuss. Or we can go through and do them each one by one. Whatever the pleasure of the body is, I will entertain a motion now. Dorian?
Mr. Chair, I make the motion we approve all resolutions as presented before this body.
Do I have a second?
Looks like Gabriel Sherwood.
Gabriel, are you seconding? Yes, Gabriel is seconding. So we will go to the raised hand feature. All those in favor of accepting the resolutions as presented? And I will interject for any of those in Watauga County who may think there's a few missing. We did pull out the ones that were all local and that needed to stay local. So they are pulled out. Sorry, Mandy, I forgot to prep you. We pulled those out last night. Because the local ones really didn't need to go on. So
Had a heart attack.
sorry.
Charlie,
Yes, ma'am. Debbie?
before you go on, I just have a question about number one.
Okay.
Ruthless for climate justice? I'm not sure. What do they mean by ruthless?
Do you want to put?
I mean, I may be nitpicking, and I don't mean to nitpick because I'm certainly all about climate reform, but the wording.
I know.
I mean, are we discussing this? We just.
I mean, technically we're voting still, but I mean, we can clear up if you're not going to object to any of it.
Oh, if you understand the
Yeah.
wording in that, go right ahead.
Well, I mean, Watauga passed it
Oh, we did?
in the convention. Yes, it's a Watauga County resolution.
Well, damn, I'm sorry. I should know that one.
You are perfectly fine. You're perfectly fine. She can, Mandy's gonna pull it up right quick, so if people can look at it right quick, she's gonna,
I'm trying. Hang on.
she's trying to share her screen right quick.
Oh, there it is.
More wherewithal.
Mhm.
Of it. Does that work? I mean, she could have downloaded this, so.
Yeah, does that help you to see what the
Yes,
point of it was?
absolutely.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna lower the hands then. And any opposed to any of the to not accept these resolutions by acclamation?
I do not see any hands.
I have not seen any hands raised, so therefore the resolutions pass. Okay, other business. Go down to the bottom. One more. No, keep going. One more.
That's all we got?
No.
Oh.
There's one more. All right.
All right.
I do want to share, I'm going to recognize Ben Martin. Ben, do you want to speak about the YouTube video that we've got here?
Yeah, sure. Hey, everybody. I am the 5th District Eva Clayton Fellow. So my role is just going to be, for the near future, doing whatever you guys needed. I popped into roundabout every single county call at this point, so I should. Hopefully you guys have at least seen my name before, and I've been hopping around the county conventions whenever we had those. I'm going to throw my email and number into the chat box. If you guys have any issues at all in relation to organizing, just shoot me a text or call me or email me. I've helped from everything from county conventions to helping organize furniture moving. So it is really a well-rounded job that I'm in, and it's whatever you guys need from me, I'm here to help you. One of our tasks was talking about what kind of things have led us to be to who we are, and it's something I think that we should all look at, and we call it like the my stories of self. And so it's just a kind of look into what makes you the Democrat that you are, what has motivated you in the past. And so we were all told to film our stories so they could be shared at the district convention to get you guys a more well-rounded view of us. And this one is mine. I think you need to share audio.
You better say that again.
Part to get Bernie into office. Johnson County isn't exactly a hotbed for progressive ideas, but that Instagram ad really did a number on me. I found a sign-up form online. I put on what I would supervise for an extremely inadequate pair of Vans, and I spent the entire day walking around the neighborhood I'd grown up in, knocking doors and telling anyone that would listen to me that the most important issue in this entire world was that I, Ben Martin, wasn't going to have to pay for college if we elected Bernie Sanders. After a day of asking people to support us youngsters by giving us all free rides to college, I was exhausted. And one house left to cover before the setting sun indicated it was my time to return home. And I was confident that I had just single-handedly changed the outcome for Bernie and youth everywhere. That house sat at the top of a rather steep road. It was run-of-the-mill home in suburbia, except there was a minivan parked right on top of the only part of the yard that seemed suitable for plants. As I approached, I pulled up the boat builder survey, knocked softly on the door, and I'll be honest, I was really hoping nobody would answer, and I could go home, certain that I had changed the world. Instead, the door opened, and there was a sizable muscular figure, wearing a white tank top, a pair of black swim shorts, and as I rolled my all-caps boat shirt, gave me an indication of where I was pretty sure this conversation was going to go. Now look, we've all canvassed before. We know these questions by heart. Hi, is this Ben? Are you Kevin? Yeah. How are you? Fine. What issues do you care about? None. Not even as youngsters have to pay for college. And at that moment, after a long, hard day of canvassing, a total stranger decided it was time to tell this 17-year-old what real issues look like. Kevin told me about his grandma. He told me about the woman she was and how his grandfather had passed away shortly after his mom was born. Although being a single mother raising a child wasn't easy, Kevin's grandmother didn't give up. She worked while her daughter was at school, and she took care of her daughter when she wasn't. Kevin's mom would later become pregnant in high school with Kevin, and Kevin's dad had quickly left town. Once again, Kevin's grandma would not leave her daughter alone. So Kevin was raised by his grandma and his mother, and they all lived together in that run-of-the-mill house at the top of that steep hill. And I realized rather quickly they had a strong family bond. I saw Kevin's eyes water, some as he quickly tilted his head down, nonchalantly, to hide his face. Kevin told me about the issues the family faced. Kevin's grandmother was sick and needed medication. And even after everything that she had done, Kevin and his mom couldn't afford the treatment. Kevin felt a level of powerlessness I had never experienced. He wanted to help his grandmother so badly, but couldn't. I stood quietly now, also staring at the floor. I don't know what to do next. The light blue patio started to be specked with water droplets, and I realized something. That annoyed, bulky man who had regretted opening the door a few minutes ago was standing there, crying. My Zoom canvas training didn't include on side on how to react to a grown man crying in front of me. As a 17-year-old, nothing in my lived experience could ever prepare me for this moment. I wish I could tell you that we hugged it out. I wish I could say we now talk daily, but I can't. After a few moments of us standing there, neither of us talking, he looked up at me and with a stern stare, he said, "Have a good one, dude." I replied back timidly, "You too." As Kevin opened the door, fully to return inside, I raised my head. Just as the door shut, I saw a lovely older lady in a wheelchair, giving me the warmest smile I still to this day have ever seen. And as the door closed and I turned back to the street overlooking the view, the run-of-the-mill house at the top of the very steep hill. To this day, that story motivates me. It's easy to focus on the issues that affect us, but we don't organize for ourselves. We organize for the Kevins in our life. We organize for the generation of hard workers that make up our communities. I walked up that hill one time wanting a free college experience, but Kevin's grandma, she walked up that hill pregnant after a 7-hour shift, needing paid maternity leave. I climbed up that driveway ready to talk about Bernie and walk away, but multiple times a day, Kevin's grandma carried her daughter up that concrete path needing a child tax credit. I strolled up that hill wishing I had on different shoes, but Kevin could never do the same. He would have to push the woman who raised him up that hike every single day. The family even had to move their massive minivan onto the one plot of grass they owned so the path would be cleared for her wheelchair. Now, I'm only 19, and I'm sure everyone on this call has knocked more doors and made more calls than me. But what I learned that day was that in my sprint to talk about what mattered to me, free college, I almost missed the opportunity to have a genuine connection with a member of my own community. I knocked on 30 doors that day, but there wasn't a single time I cared about what those first 29 said to me, unless it was about her. And I think a lot about our organizing programs. I know we have to do the great volume of work we do. I know we have to dial the millions of numbers we do, and I know we have to knock on the thousands of doors. But I'm wondering how our work in community development might look different if we took the time to look on one another in the eyes and have these difficult, honest, and meaningful conversations outside of the 8-week pre-election window. How many times have you wanted to hang up on that sweet old lady that talked way too long on the phone thing? Honey, I don't care about your cats, I just want you to vote. How many times have you not softly hoping that they won't answer because at the end of the day, you can pretend like you've accomplished your not goal whether they answer or not? How many times have you been like, it's just my one issue that matters? I know every single person has that one issue. I don't want you to lose that. I just want you to let your passion on that issue be the driving force that takes you to the top of the hill. And then I want you to take the time to allow their story on the patio to become the reason you knock on one more door. There are voiceless people in our community whose homes are more than just addresses for lit drops. There are voiceless people in our community whose stories are more important than an answer to a vote builder survey. And there are voiceless people in our community who need to hear more than go vote, go vote, go vote. And somewhere there are still voiceless Kevins who need to know that their stories about healthcare and family struggles are more important than my doorbell for the day. I'm Ben Martin. I'm honored to be your organizing fellow. And I'm excited that we'll be working together to learn more about the needs in our community. I'm grateful for the opportunity to walk beside you on this journey. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you so much. That was really, really good. And we are very fortunate to have a Eva Clayton Fellow. And Ben has put the link to that in the chat box so you can access it and use it. You know, I am proud to say, if you notice, there's an ASU flag behind him. He is one of the college Democrats here at Appalachian State, and as the advisor, it makes me proud to have him and many others who are as passionate as him leading our college Dems here on campus. And I just can't tell you how blessed we are to have these folks that are working so hard. And please use Ben. Ben has been really good to want to help out and try to do whatever, whether it's vote builder or, like he said, moving a refrigerator. So please reach out to him and use him if you can in whatever way, because I know he'll be glad to help. All right,
That one, the gerrymandering?
Yeah.
That one?
Yeah, no, just wait for a minute then.
Okay.
I thought that's what it was. Okay. Any other business that we need to conduct?
Dorian Palmer? Nope.
All right. Hearing none, we'll move on to announcements, and I will recognize Dorian from our Young Democrats representative.
Hey there. So I'm awful excited. Thank you so much, Ben, for what we just got to see and witness there. I'm the Vice President for membership of the Young Democrats of North Carolina. I am so excited to announce that going into 2021 YDNC convention, we took 17 counties from Western North Carolina to the statewide convention. And that is something that's never been done before. So I'm awful excited about that. But I want more. I have a goal of 50 counties recognized, and not individual counties, 50 counties recognized. So we can have multi-county chapters. We can have up to 6 in a multi-county chapter. I want to get 50 counties organized across North Carolina this year, but I need your help to do it. I want you to reach out to me. I dropped my information in the chat box a while ago, but I need your help to make North Carolina a better place to live. And more importantly, to get young folks out and registered and active as Democrats in our communities. And I look forward to talking with all of you soon.
Thank you, Dorian. You see some of the other announcements we have coming up. Our next exec committee meeting, and anyone's welcome to join, is Thursday, June 24th at 6 p.m. There is a plan of organization committee meeting on Sunday, May 23rd at 1 p.m. And then our summer SEC meeting will be Saturday, August the 7th. I do know that the State Executive Council is meeting June the 10th. And we're going to be discussing how we're going to move forward because, you know, we still have emergency declarations in effect right now for special meetings and stuff. So we're going to be able to work forward. Ben, do you want to speak to this to the other announcement we had and the slide we got?
Yes, sir. Thank you. And also thank you everyone who complimented the video. It took a lot of takes. So I definitely appreciate that. So for a lot of us, this is our first district convention as a district, or sorry, we haven't had an in-person district convention. This is probably for a lot of us a second district convention. And for a lot of us, we'll never see each other in person because most likely we'll be shuffled around again. It seems like the 5th district always gets the end of the stick there where everyone gets moved around. And so on one of the county convention calls in Ashe County, there was a conversation that happened that was like, man, you know, I've met so many of these cool people I'm never going to ever see in person again. You know, let's change that. I don't like meeting people and then having to say bye to them. And so I helped schedule this event with Senator Terry Van Dyne because she is so knowledgeable about gerrymandering. She has so much lived experience kind of combating that and trying to get, you know, fair nonpartisan districts. And so it was one of those just things that I immediately was like, this is who we need to get. And we finally figured out a time for it to work. So on June 4th at 6 p.m., I'm going to be sending the mobilized link into the chat. And I'm going to, you know, if anyone, I've sent my email in here, if anyone is not able to get it, feel free to call me or reach out to me. We're going to be having just a conversation with her about what is the history of this practice? Why is it so prevalent in North Carolina? And what can we do about it so we don't have to say goodbye to our friends every single two to 3 years? And so I just think this is something that's super important for all of us. And I would really appreciate it if you guys come out to it.
Thank you.
Will there be a recording of the presentation that could be shared if you can't attend?
Yes, sir. There will be a recording, and I will figure out the best way to get it out to everyone. But yes, sir, there will be a recording.
Thank you.
And we've had a request, if people can send myself and Pat and Mandy these links in an email, that would be great. Pat, can you throw up your email, please, so that people got it? Because we're going to we'll get these sent out because some people have asked for them to be sent since the chat goes away in Zoom.
Is the Zoom meeting not recorded?
It is. We can share that. We can share this as well. But I know some people like for us to share this as we can. Is Pam? Means Pat's. Pat, did you put yours in there in the chat? Okay. Thank you. Sorry. All right. Any other announcements? Anything? Betsy, do you need to update anything on the DEM women?
The DEM women are planning to meet in convention.
Sorry, y'all. The Democratic women will be planning to have their state convention at the end of September. Gail Jones had an awesome regional meeting a couple of weeks ago with some of the members of the district. And so just be looking out for that information, and I hope you'll join us. We always have a good time at the convention, and we'll be having things to talk about and plans to make, and you'll be hearing more about that from me. Thank y'all.
Betsy, I think it's August the 28th, isn't it? The
August
weekend
28th?
of yeah.
So that's when, okay. Thank you,
state.
Gail. I knew that it was kind of up in the air, so it's August 28th. All right. Thank you, Gail.
You're
See,
welcome.
you did a great job, Gail.
Thank you. It was our speaker, Julie.
I know. I guess we can sing and dance to Gail right now.
And I would like to speak to Miss Loretta Clausen that I've known for years. Hey, Miss Loretta, it's good to see you.
It's good to see you too. Really
Thank
is.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, have to get my audio and everything back up. Any other announcements? Anything else that needs to be brought before this body? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Thank you, Cliff.
You're welcome.
Gail Best-Rainer.
Thank you.
Yeah, that
Thank you,
requires-
everyone, and all those in favor. You can feel free to leave the meeting.
No, that requires a second, Charlie.
All right, we had a second. I'm sorry. We
Okay.
did have a second.
All right, Gail, good.
We had multiple seconds.
Multiple seconds.
Thank
Yeah, we
you
always
all
do.
so much.
All right, thank
Bye.
y'all. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Congratulations, all officers.
Thank you.
Congratulations, everybody.
Thank you.
Good meeting. That wasn't so bad.
Thank you, Colleen. Thank
Well
y'all
done,
in
Charlie.
Alexander for joining together.
Have a blessed rest of the weekend, everybody.
Yeah.
Bye,
So,
Charlie.
Oh, look, there's my wife popping up and Loretta. Hi, guys.
Yes.
Shelley Wallen.
Right.
Only 103. You did good.
My wife-
Stand back.
You're the best, Ben. Thank you.
I'm sorry about the Facebook Live. It worked every single time I practiced it. And then, of course, I went to press it and it was like, you don't have permission. I was like, what is that rule that everything that could go wrong will go wrong?
I don't know. Facebook is sketchy, yo. I think you never can trust the Facebook.
We're still live right now, so we can't say anything incriminating.
Oh, no. I love Facebook.
I didn't know that like random people would just apply to be your friend. So I'm sitting there with somebody and I'm clicking accept on everyone because I just assumed that, like I know somehow. And they like grab my hand, they're like, stop it.
Well, you did great. You can stop it now. We're trying to leave this thing. So thank you so much. And we'll touch base after this.
John Johnson.